Hear that? That's right. That's pure uncut nostalgia. Going all the way back to Duke Nukem 3D. 20 years ago, shareware was all the rage when it came to PC games of the time. At the end of January 1996, one was released that I will not forget. Although the full game wouldn't be let out until the spring of that year, it was the one piece of gaming that was passed around more than that joint in the circle behind your high school. For many of us, the shareware release was all that was available until later on down the road. Sure, there were a lot of games beforehand, Wolf 3D, its successive clone from Apogee, Blakestone, Aliens of Gold, a classic game in itself, although tragically cut short by the release of Doom a short time after. But these all had common themes. Their settings, past and future. All great games, but limited familiarity on the playthroughs. Duke aimed to change all that, and man, did it. The levels allowed us to run around streets, movie theaters, strip clubs, bookstores, you name it. It was all there, into sewers, and of course eventually making its way up to space and back. The gameplay, like most of its DOS predecessors, were keyboard-driven, using your left, right, up, down, control to fire, space to jump, your common control theme at the time. And by Jesus were there weapons. Of course, you wouldn't get them all in the shareware version, but every time you turned off that game, they'd make sure you knew they were there. The tools that it included were new and somewhat revolutionary at the time. You had medkits, steroids, holodukes, all of these things to help you with your romp through an alien-infested Earth. This game was littered with pop culture references, from the cover being a spin-off from Army of Darkness, in which Duke replaced Ash, to finding the Doom guy destroyed and behind some stained glass in a secret area. Duke, in his crass ways, found the normal criticism of the times, with people crying out for censorship and trying to find a deeper meaning in the video game world of paying strippers and having the options of shooting those poor alien-reference trapped women in the green slime. It was a war cry of the adolescent computer gaming generation of the time, only fueling the fire for more shareware and pirated copies. My own first full version copy being less than legal, as I'm sure many of yours were as well. But this is all too familiar. So what do we have now, 20 years later? As Duke has progressed over the years, starting out as a platformer in the early gaming days, hanging out with Halloween Harry or Jazz Jackrabbit, Duke has evolved into the awful cliche that I personally love to this day. The console ports never really did him justice at the time of Duke 3D, dealing with memory and engine issues, graphical skips. A true port wasn't really true until the 360 had its day with it. Not even mentioning the disaster that was getting to the point of Duke Nukem Forever. Love it or hate it, that's a whole different episode. So we find ourselves here on Steam with integrated DOSBox and an all-inclusive setting, thanks to our new Danish overlords at Interceptor Entertainment. And I, for one, thank them for the opportunity. Interceptor Entertainment is responsible for that bat-shit remake of Rise of the Triad that has reinvested in repairing the damaged legacy that is 3D Realms. 20 years later, and I still have nothing but love for this title, and I am so glad it has been optimized to continue to offend future generations. If you haven't played this title, it's a must. Sure, the graphics are outdated and the catchphrases are cheesy, but it has a charm all its own. I can only hope that this trend of repairing our once great institutions of classic gaming carries on, joyously recreating the ridiculousness of old and keeping our future generations of the PC master race reminded where it all started. Here's to another 20 years of the cigar-smoking, womanizing, catchphrasing, hyper-masculine archetype we've all come to love. Happy 20th anniversary to the Duke 3D franchise, and here's to a little more, you magnificent bastard. Hey guys, once more, thanks so much for coming out. If you like what you saw, slap the like button. If you have any ideas, like usual, let me know down below. And if you want to see what's going on in the world of gaming each day, hit that sub button, and we will catch you guys in the next episode. Cheers!